fingers, just about, okay. Hello everyone, my name is Truman Adkins. I want to do a short video today here at the Martinsville-Henry County Heritage Center and Museum relating to my memories of the building when it was a working courthouse. The way things used to be here as I remember them. My earliest memories go back probably to 1968, 69. At that time, this was before the construction of the administration building on Kings Mountain Road. And while this section of it that we're in now related to the courts, the Giles and Lambert offices next door were the Commissioner of Revenue's office, and I believe also the Treasurer's office was in there somehow. I'm a little vague on that. My sister worked there during the summer, so I saw a little bit of it. Primarily, I remember these doors here with this window design in it being here when I was a kid. Now, later in the mid-'80s, these have been replaced by some like aluminum doors that were painted over, were opaque, and they were different. So I'm glad to see this back. We're standing, of course, here in the foyer as you come into the museum, where our gift shop is and everything. One thing I do recall is that this door was not here. This door was completely bricked up, but you could see the outline of it from earlier times. And so I'm glad to see that that was brought back. If we could swing around over here to this side. The plaque commemorating George Harston and his donation of land and means to build this building 200 years ago was, actually he donated the land earlier than that, but this building dates from 200 years ago. I remember it being across the room, over there on the other wall, and I think I can make out a place on the wall where it may have been. Of course, memory's a funny thing. I do recall that this was the janitor's closet, and I don't think that it has changed a whole lot. This is where Mike Arnold kept all of his stuff to keep the clerk's office clean back in the day. And I remember there was a couple of old spittoons in there, which I think we still have in the collection here.
Let me get a picture of this plaque.
Okay. It's not easy to read.
I think it may be easier than it is. George Hairston, 1750 through 1827, Colonel in the Revolutionary War, Brigadier General of the War of 1812. Just move that, please.
Okay.
Sorry. Justice Henry County Court, patriot, benefactor, who gave the land and provided the means to build the courthouse.
Yes.
So, back to you, Truman.
Okay. And of course, it was erected by his descendants in 1939. And let's say, I remember it being across the way over here. In this corner, there was a display case, not a lot unlike this one, that was maintained by the Mildred Lee chapter of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. And they would have some memorabilia in here from various conventions. You would see them occasionally make an appearance to come in and dust and maintain it. I do not know what became of that afterward, but the floor had some very dark asphalt tile on it, and it's just wonderful to see that pulled up now. You can see this beautiful pine floor that has been hidden all those years.
And just as an aside, you might notice there's a Christmas tree on our gift shop. We're doing a Christmas tree raffle, so if you want to learn more about that, call the museum.
Okay. All right, the stairs going up, they were not carpeted. The handrails and all pretty much the same as they were then, but it was a lot louder going up the stairs, always a commotion. We're not going to go into the museum itself, and going through this entrance, you would have entered the Circuit Court Clerk's Office for Henry County. And let's see, is the light automatic in here?
No.
There we go. So in here, you would have where the elevator is now, and just out from it, pretty much where the door frame would end was a counter. It would come over to about here. I seem to remember it had a lower counter and then a higher one that you'd have to hand things over. People would bring in their deeds to be recorded, their deeds of trust, powers of attorney. They would come in and get their marriage licenses, which would mean going back behind the counter to one of the clerk's desks. They would type it up on a typewriter. Where the elevator sits now was the desk of Mary Ann Clark. And she was a deputy clerk for many years. Right next to her over here was the copy machine. When you bring your documents in to be recorded, a copy would be made and you get the original back. There's still a copier there now. In the back, there were two other desks. On the left was Frances Wade. I remember she was there next to that door that was like sealed up and never used. There was a window unit air conditioner in the window back there. And on the other side, Betsy Woolrich sat until she left, and then she was replaced by Judy Kelly, who went with the three of them, Mary Ann, Frances, and Judy all went to the new clerk's office on Kings Mountain Road in 1993. I believe that's right. Okay, if you step in here, this was more offices. There was a pedestal right here where the bust of George Washington sat. That bust is still in the clerk's office outside of Jennifer Ashworth's office. Right here, Luana Bolt Hans sat, and she was the treasurer. She was the bookkeeper. She kept up with all the receipts and all the money and everything. Next to her was Marie Parker. She had a desk here, and she would type up all the judgments and put them on the judgment lien docket, among other things. And over beyond the partition was where the clerk of court sat, Juanita Stewart. Juanita Stewart was elected, I believe, in 1985, 84, somewhere in there. She was the first female clerk of the court. My sister Sue always thought that was a great thing and all, and she always reminded me that Juanita wore crinolines under her dress way after it went out of style. So she was over there, and she had a window unit air conditioner. The building itself, I believe, was heated with steam heat. The only air conditioning was the permanently placed in the windows air conditioners. This restroom back here probably was here. I don't really remember. This other one, I think it's handicapped accessible. It's been added since then. All right, and we'll go in here to the deed room and the other areas. Okay. Here we have of course, a vault door, which I don't think I've ever seen the side of it before. But of course, it would be closed up at night to make this fireproof. Boom. Okay. In this section, there was a water fountain that sat right there. And there was a rack here where the attorneys each had a place where they had their name on it, and they could come out and pick up their papers from various court orders or whatever. There were books around this section over here, which they were the old court orders, the old minute books, the stuff that nobody ever went into, and they would just crumble if you looked at them. They are still at the clerk's office on Kings Mountain Road. I remember the copy of the Constitution that was signed in 1987 was up on top of a cabinet up there. It's to be opened in 2037. There was something here in the middle, some kind of cabinet. On this wall over here, there were these cranking cabinets designed to save space, and you could, all the old ended chancery and law cases were in there back to the beginning of time. It was amazing stuff. I remember looking at the index and coming across an ancestor's name and going and pulling out this case that hadn't been opened in like 90 years and found out that he had like been sued and lost everything. It's amazing the history that was here. We're going to go now to the front, and what I understand, this I've been told is the oldest part of the building. Get the light to come on. This marble tile floor, it always amazed me. I wondered if this is on concrete, if this is on dirt, or what exactly. You can see over here, this is the doorway that was closed up, and there were 4 deputy clerks that sat in here. Over here was Eileen Graham, who recently passed away. She started here, I think in probably the 1940s. She was Eileen Spencer then, and spent 40 years working here as a deputy clerk. She was replaced by her daughter, Nancy Martin. Here sat Vicki Helmstubler. Then there was Helen. I can't remember what Helen's last name was. And then the last place over there was Edna Hall, and they all had different functions in the court. They worked a lot upstairs with the cases and the law end of it. When Helen retired, Jennifer Ross was hired to replace her. Now Jennifer Ross Ashworth, who succeeded Juanita as the clerk of court a few years back, and I think and has been reelected since then. We'll go this way. We'll go into the deed room. I'll show you that. Those rolling cabinets blocked that doorway. So that doorway was not used at all. You could go through this one. And this was the deed room, where they had lots of different old records in the big giant books, mostly deeds. Also had judgments. They had plats, all the surveys. The plats were in cabinets that were down here low, and around that way. On top of them, there was the racks that had had the deed books. On top of that, there were various and sundry old records, the Estray book, the record of insane, inebriated people, or something like that. Over here on this side, they had the trust deed books. When you would get a mortgage long ago, they put those in a separate category, and they later incorporated those into the deed books. Photocopier was right here. It had, of course, a bypass key, which you could get at the front counter. Had the goofy keychain. Someone had gone to Florida and come back with a keychain from Disney World that had Goofy on it. They still use that keychain over on Kings Mountain Road. I saw it the other day. That's where the copier was, where you would make copies. There were 2 rows of counters here. There were books under them. The index for the grantors and grantees was here. At the end of the row, there was a little place for a stool to go in. It was right here. And this was Clarence Kerfoot's spot. He would come in, the people would always leave him alone, and as he came in, and he would get his stool out, he would do his business, and then he would point to somebody, he'd say, "You're in charge," and he would leave. And I remember Clarence Kerfoot, I remember John Hartley, Jim Ford, A.L. Philpott, and his cousin Dale McGee. I remember Bill and Stringy Carter. Bill and Stringy Carter would come in and they had these 2 talking baby dolls. They had no children of their own, but they had these talking baby dolls. They would dress them up in the finest fashion. And I remember Stringy, his wife, her real name was Ella. She brought one of them in to see Uncle Clarence one day. He was over here on his stool. And he said, "Well, hello there, is this baby Billy or baby Stringy?" And she told him which one it was. "Well, you sure are a cute little thing." I remember, John Hartley. Who else? Carrie Randolph. Just so many. So many of these people who have passed on over time. Dave Worthy. They might not see them in here as often as some, but they would be in here. This was the place where I saw A.L. Philpott for the last time, probably 6 months before he died. The air conditioner for this room was over here in this window. It was permanently put in there. You had a wall socket switch to flip it on, and it would cool this place down. You could go through here to the annex, which was later torn down and is now being replaced by the addition to the museum. And there was a fire door here. You could see where it was, and it would slide in front of it. And you had the bathroom. This was the most disgusting part of the whole building. You had a sink in there, you had a toilet that may or may not flush. It was really scary. I remember reading something about Courthouse toilets in the Roanoke Times once, and I think they said of Henry County, just like non-existent. But that was where the public got to go. I think it's the janitor's closet now. Basically, that's it. I'm glad to get these memories down. I've talked to some of the deputy clerks who have worked here. Say, "Have you been to the museum?" "No, need to go over there. Need to go see that." So, Nancy Ruth Graham Martin, I hope that you get to see this video. Thank you, and that's all.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.